Senate Bill 476 by Senator Mendoza, an act relating to housing.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm here to present SB 476, which improves the safety standards for youth day camps by requiring that day camps follow the same standards that residential camps follow now. SB 476 will ensure that day camps meet similar standards as residential camps, including oversight by local health departments and the local fire marshal. SB 476 has no opposition, has passed with unanimous support in Policy Committee. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to utilizing our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0, the measure passes. Moving to file item 48, Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 492 by Senator Liu, an act relating to Medi-Cal.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, SB 492 requires the Department of Health Care Services to create a consumer-friendly informational guide that informs beneficiaries of their rights and provides information on services in the Coordinated Care Initiative. Individuals in the CCI are some of California's most vulnerable populations. Those are low-income seniors and persons with disabilities. CCI rollout in some of the pilot counties has not gone smoothly. The enrollment process is complex and confusing. Consumers don't know their rights, their options, or how to access resources. Without this information, they and their families cannot make informed decisions about care. Requiring DHCS to develop this guide signals the state's commitment to greater accountability, consistency, and transparency in delivering of services and supports under CCI. This bill passed out of Health Committee on a vote of 7-0, and I ask for your vote today.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Canella? De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Weso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? Aye. Nielsen? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? No. Vidak? Aye. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Bates? Berryhill? Aye. Canella? Aye. Gaines? Huff?
Ayes 29, no 7, the measure passes. Moving to file item 49, Senator Hall. Are you taking up this item, Senator Hall? Yes. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 510 by Senator Hall, an act relating to vehicles.
Senator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. SB 510 requires that upon conviction of street racing, the vehicle used in the crime will be impounded for 30 days and requires that illegal modifications found upon inspection of the vehicle be removed in a timely manner. Illegal street racing is a growing danger to those behind the wheel, passengers, spectators, and innocent passerbys that may be injured or killed. The growing list of offenses cited by law enforcement at street racing events include illegal drug use, drunk driving, stolen vehicles, stolen weapons, and the assault of innocent people. Mr. Hertzberg, many of these vehicles cited for street racing have undergone thousands of dollars in dangerous and illegal modifications. SB 510 will require that vehicles used for illegal street racing will be restored to being street legal and act as a disincentive for others to illegally modify their vehicles. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to utilizing our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0, the measure passes. File item 51, Senator Leyva. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 532 by Senator Leyva, an act relating to school districts.
Senator Leyva.
Good morning, Mr. President and members. Today I'm presenting SB 592, which was an idea that was brought to us by a group of high school students from the California Association of Student Councils. These bright young students presented us with this proposal during a Senate education hearing on February 25th of this year. These high school students described two situations that highlighted the need for this bill. During the summer of 2013, the president of the Beverly Hills Unified School Board unilaterally eliminated the student board member position because he determined that it was within his authority to do so. The lack of a formal public process in the California Education Code allowed the students' perspectives and opinions to be silenced during this interim period. Then, in April of 2014, the Los Angeles Unified School District students submitted the necessary petition with at least 500 signatures to establish a student school board member position. The school board decided that the superintendent would make recommendations regarding this petition within 120 days. However, long after the 120 days passed, the 600 students with LAUSD still did not have a student voice on their school board in spite of properly submitting the petition. SB 532 would create a formal process for both the establishment and removal of the student school board member position. These procedures would ensure a timely and transparent process and protect students' ability to voice their perspectives and concerns. This bill passed unanimously out of Senate Education, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to utilizing our unanimous roll call? There is objection. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Bates. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Wachowski.
Ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Item 52, Senator Hill. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 671 by Senator Hill, enacting to pharmacy.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, 2 years ago, almost every one of you voted to support a similar version of this bill. The only difference this time around is that several entities that had opposed the bill now support it because amendments have been taken to address their concerns. SB 671 allows lower-cost biosimilar drugs to be automatically substituted by a pharmacist. It also requires that the pharmacist communicate with the physician about the substitution within 5 days after the prescription is filled. And I say after the prescription is filled. Since the majority of healthcare providers are using electronic medical records, the communication will be as easy as a click of a button. Pharmacies already communicate with physicians millions of times per month in California. This bill would only add a few more per month. This bill is critical so pharmacists can more easily provide lower-cost drugs to patients and so doctors can have access to complete medical records for their patients. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to applaud the author in SB 671. As you know, being a pharmacist now for almost 35 years, it was a big step for us when we could interchange generic drugs for brand name drugs, which save consumers, insurance companies, billions of dollars over the many years that generics have come to life. And now we have the issue of biologics that work by the same mode of action, but they are different biological entities, and as such, they may have different adverse effects. And so I fully support the author's contention that when a substitution is being lawfully made by a pharmacist, that a physician needs to know that the item that he prescribed was not the item that was dispensed, so that when the doctor sees the patient and there are adverse effects that may not be common with the drug that the physician prescribed, that he has knowledge that it was not the drug that was prescribed, it was a substitute, and vice versa. Some patients may get along better with a lower cost biologic than a more expensive one. The issue that I have, and I've had a wonderful discussion with the senator this morning, and I will continue to work with the senator, and I appreciate his allowing me to participate. As you know, this process has been going for a couple of years, and I haven't been involved since my committee assignments don't review this particular item. However, I can tell you that as a practicing pharmacist, we take multiple steps before a prescription is filled. We're not just sitting there counting by fives. There's a lot of steps that go into what we do, utilizing computers to ensure that there's no drug interactions, no drug allergies. And we do have a mechanism to transmit to doctors electronically at the time that a prescription is filled. And all of you have heard of PBMs. Positive features of PBMs, negative features of PBMs. We're not here to discuss the efficacy of PBMs, but they are a fact of life if a pharmacy wants to get paid for a claim. I believe that PBMs could be a very good tool, a cost-effective tool, a transparent tool that pharmacists can use without burdening them with yet another phone call, another fax, with physicians that are inundated with the Affordable Health Care Act and having to get back with a pharmacist within 5 days. I think that there are some other opportunities here to support the bill and to make it much easier on pharmacists to make those communications electronically to physicians. So I can't support the bill today, but I look forward to working with the author. The intentions of the bill are good. I just want to make it streamlined, if you will, from a pharmacist standpoint that is burdened by many, many regulations that we must follow and adhere to in the best interest of patient safety before that prescription is dispensed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing none, Senator Hill, would you like to close?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, and I want to thank my good friend, the senator from Temecula, on the issue and his support of the issue. It's the communication piece that is still being worked on as the bill moves forward. We're trying to develop the PBM system. Could work at some point, but at this point in time, the way it's designed, it's not fully defined in the communication part. It could leave those who pay by cash and not through a health plan of some sort, that they would not be able to communicate that to a physician. And we want to make sure that that works. And also, it would be difficult to, it would go to the prescribers and not the physician. And that's crucial that the physician be notified and communicated with within that 5-day period. So we're working with the opposition. We'll continue to do that. And I think at the end of the day, we'll have a solution to this communication, because everyone, I believe, wants the right thing. Interestingly, the pharmacists and the pharmacies in the last few years have supported the issue of increased notification to physicians when it was in their best interest, when they had, these were bills that would allow them to change a prescription from 30 days to go to 90 days, and in doing that, they have to notify the physician, and they were very happy to support that notification. Dealing with biologics, we're talking about a very small percentage of notifications that would be required. It's 0.13% of all prescriptions today. So it's a small number, but we're going to continue to work, and I'm very hopeful we'll come to a solution. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members. Thank you.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgioni. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wisso. I. Huff. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leba. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill. Fuller. Galgioni. Aye. Huff. Morrell. No. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. No. Runner.
Ayes 30, noes 5. The measure passes. Members, we're going to move quickly without objection to privileges of the floor. Senator Hueso.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, please join me in extending a warm welcome to some distinguished visitors today from the beautiful city of Morelia, Michoacan. They are here representing Rotary Club International. I want to thank Chris Ordaz, who is from our Roseville Rotary, for facilitating this exchange and for Rotary's service to the international community. Today we have with us Jorge and Chuy Alcazar, David and Tony Roson, and Carlos Enrola Vega. Welcome to California. Señores y señoras, bienvenido a California. California es su casa.
Welcome to the California State Senate. Bienvenidos. Members, we move now to file item 53. Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 675 by Senator Liu and Acroling to health facilities.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 675 requires California hospitals to record the name of family caregivers when a loved one is admitted, notify the family caregiver when the loved one is to be discharged to another facility or home, provides an opportunity for the patient and designated caregiver to engage in the discharging planning process, including obtaining information or the instructions regarding the post-discharge care. This bill derives from a recommendation of the Senate Select Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care in 2014 final report. It also represents a policy promoted nationally by AARP. It's referred to as the CARE Act. It's a measure that is similar and has been introduced in 23 other states and has already been enacted in 5. Caregiver tasks at home, especially paramedical tasks such as tube feeding and wound care, can be daunting. Identifying and meeting the needs of California's caregivers can help ensure the appropriate care is provided for aging adults at home or in a rehabilitation or nursing facility, and thereby avoid unnecessary readmission or prolonged stays. As you know, reducing readmissions is a very high priority in the healthcare delivery field. I thank AARP, the California Hospital Association, AstraZeneca for assistance in developing the bill, and I ask for your aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to commend the senator for bringing this forward. What's important here is that as we have a rapidly aging population, of which I am a member of, we need the appropriate continuum of care, without which we will see a lot of readmissions at significant costs. We need to make sure that there's a medical infrastructure apparatus for a senior that is discharged at home with the appropriate durable medical equipment, the appropriate medical oversight to ensure that there is this orderly transition from a hospital setting to a community setting, and I strongly support the bill and urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Members, additional debate or discussion on this item. Seeing here none, Senator Liu, would you like to close?
Simply ask for your aye vote and thank Senator Stone.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgioni. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Hueso, aye. Berryhill. Fuller. Hall. Aye. Huff. Morrell. Aye. Runner. Berryhill, aye.
Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 54, Senator Canela. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 676 by Senator Canela, an act relating to disorderly conduct.
Senator Canela.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 676 is a follow-up measure to my previous two revenge porn bills, which I'm sure we're all familiar with by now. This bill builds upon those efforts by making revenge porn images subject to forfeiture to law enforcement for destruction, like child pornography images already are. Absent this bill, images would be released back to the offender upon release. This bill is sponsored by the Attorney General's office and has received unanimous bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to utilizing a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0. I'm sorry, ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 55, Senator Gaines. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 704 by Senator Gaines, an act relating to public officers.
Senator Gaines.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, SB 704 makes it easier for architects and others to serve their communities as volunteers on local appointed bodies, such as design review boards and planning commissions. It does this by allowing them to address a conflict of interest by recusing themselves from any decision where there is a conflict. The Political Reform Act already allows this for private projects. When a project designed by an architect who sits on a local design review board comes before that board, the architect must recuse himself. This bill will simply extend that principle to public projects and continue to protect taxpayers against any possible conflicts of interest while allowing architects and others to offer their expertise. SB 704 has no opposition, and I urge an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to utilizing our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 56, passed temporarily. File item 57, Senator Mendoza. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 792 by Senator Mendoza, an act relating to daycare facilities.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm here to present SB 792, which protect the most vulnerable children in our society. This bill basically mandates that daycare workers and home and family daycare workers be vaccinated if they're working with children that are under the age of 5. Children under the age of 5 are too young to be fully vaccinated, so having the adults around them be vaccinated creates a community of immunity desperately needed. Respectfully has bipartisan support. Would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I understand what is trying to be accomplished with this bill, but it seems that just providing notification to the parents of the children that an employee or a volunteer of the daycare center has not had their full vaccinations would be more advisable. There are exemptions which say that certain people don't have to have the vaccinations, but you're still not notifying the parents. So there should be some kind of notification as opposed to a mandatory vaccination. So I rise in opposition. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing none, Senator Mendoza, would you like to close?
Members, again, these kids are too young to be vaccinated. They need the people around them to protect them. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canela. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Galgioni. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. I, Mitchell. I, Monning. I, Morlock. No, Morrell. No, Wynn. I, Nilsson. I, Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. I, Runner. I, Stone. I, Vidak. I, Wachowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Fuller. Gaines. I, Wesso. I, Huff.
Ayes 34, noes 3. The measure passes.